Today we start Revelation. I want to begin by saying you can understand this. The thing I've heard more than just about anything else in 25, almost 30 years now of teaching the scripture is I don't have a clue it's in Revelation. People tell me that all the time. They read it and they study it, and most of the time they read commentaries and listen to sermons and things, but they don't actually study it themselves because they just are lost right away. And there is such confusion, such disagreement on it that it seems beyond our understanding. But remember, like all the other books of the scripture, it is intended to be understood, and it was intended for the original audience to understand it. So they didn't have to wait for thousands of years of commentaries and theologians, right? So just go into this with the mindset you can understand what is here, okay? Deal? All right, a couple of preliminary things as we get into. Number one, if this were a college or seminary course, there would be some prerequisites. You need to become very familiar with Daniel and Zechariah. So similar to the way the Lord prepared for the giving of the revelation, I was preparing you, those of you who've been around for a while, for this study. A year ago, just under a year ago, I think it was the first week of January, we did a series that I jotted it down here so I could remember this time, The Kingdom and the Last Days. If you weren't with us, or even if you were, you might want to go back and watch those videos as we go through here. I put a link for you conveniently in the show notes, so you can get to that quickly. Good to refresh yourself on that. We covered Daniel, and you need to understand Daniel if you're going to understand Revelation. Now, we're going to go back and look at some of it. So anyway, if you want to get ahead and be a good student of Revelation, study chapter 2, chapter 7, and chapters 9 through 12 of Daniel, and read them again and again and again. And I recommend the Septuagint, and there's a free link or a link to a free translation of the Septuagint in the show notes as well. And Zechariah. We most recently went through Zechariah. You can go back and watch those, but you've got to understand Zechariah and the images there if you're going to be able to comprehend what's going on here in Revelation.